This is our one-man rat hole base design, and this is our six-man base design. Today, we will build rat holes for a solo, trio, and a six-man tribe. Coming for our one-man spot, this can be found at 17.5 latitude and 19.1 longitude, and then here it is on the map. This can be found directly underneath, I believe right next to the Ice Palace, or pretty close to the Ice Palace. So go to the edge of the world, and then go underneath the center. It should be around Green Ob, and then you'll find this area. Anyways, there are two different rat holes here. We're going to go in the one on the right. Now coming in here, the entrance is very tight, which is really good because you can't really throw out any dinos in here. The only way in is probably with a PT. But yeah, as you can see with the inside of it, it's honestly not bad. You have a good amount of room to work with. So I'm going to see how we're going to do this. It's going to be some kind of turret wall in here, but trying to defend that entrance is going to be tricky. So yeah, let's get on to that full base design. Now here is the full base design. So as you can see with this entrance, I just decided to go ahead and just put a ton of spam turrets. Now, from what I've seen and from what I've learned, spam is honestly one of the most overpowered things currently until it gets nerfed or if something ever gets done. But yeah, so just decided to go ahead and spam, the entire thing with turrets. Yes, it does look kind of a bit like a mess, I'll just say that. But along with that, I did a small little turret wall in there, and then you have a nice little hatchery area up top. Now, I only put it up here because there's not enough room in the base. So it's really meant to hatch, only a couple dinos. You're not going to be hatching, a couple hundred or something. That's just not going to happen. Anyways, coming inside of here, you have a grill, a refrigerator. You have your indie forge right here, which, yes, it does fit, but you have to put down that indie forge first. Then you got your smithies, your vaults, some more smithies over here. And then up top, you have your fabricators, which can be accessed from pretty much down here on your first layer, along with a cryo fridge. And then you have a chem bench that's hidden right in there as well. So overall, it is pretty compact, but again, it's just for a one man. You're not going to need a ton of room. And then in here, you have 3 more vaults that are hidden right behind those other 3 vaults. And then you have an upstairs area, which you have 3 layers in here. Now the second layer, more vaults, of course. You can never go wrong with too many vaults. Again, 3 more vaults, and then you have your indie cooker over here in the corner. It fits perfectly, but yeah, overall works pretty well. Anyways, coming up to this third layer, it's just kind of a little open layer for some dino storage. But yeah, that's about it for this one. Let's move on to our 3-man. Coming for our 3-man spot, this can be found at 38 latitude and 33.4 longitude. And then here it is on the map. Now this can be found over on the floating island. And this rat hole is actually a pretty decent one. Now I did test this one out. This one does not have any cave damage on it because some of these spots do have cave damage. This one does not. So there's a pretty overpowered spot. So yeah, coming into this little entrance right here, I don't even think that you can fit a PT in there. It's pretty much unrateable if you know how to build this thing right. Anyways, coming inside of here, it opens up into this massive rat hole with tons of room, pretty high ceilings, as well as the floor going down a little bit in here. So yeah, putting turrets in here is going to be a little bit tricky just for this reason alone. But that entrance being so small, it's going to be such a pain just to get into this rat hole. And the rat hole does keep going. There's a second little area. It's pretty good size, honestly. But it goes all the way up, and it even goes down a little bit farther back in here too. And then it even keeps going down in this little crack. There's not too much room down here. But overall, this rat hole is pretty insane, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, anyways, let's get on to that full base design. This video is sponsored by Mitra9. Mitra9 is a kava and kratom company that makes seltzers that quite literally make you feel good. My favorite flavor is tropical. Now kava and kratom give you a similar effect to alcohol but without the impairment. It's more like a high. Mitra9 has really helped me get through long, stressful days. Use my code Outcasts for 20% off at mitra9.com. Must be 18 or 21 in some states. Now here is the full base design. So as you can see with this entrance, I didn't put any turrets on the outside. Wanted just to make sure that people don't really know that you're in here. So I strictly only put turrets on the inside. Now along with this solo one, I did the same kind of style for the 3-man. I put a bunch of spam turrets along with a good sized turret wall. And this turret wall is pushed back a good ways just to make sure that, if somebody does manage to get in, they can't take down that turret wall pretty much instantly. Now again, there's no cave damage in here. Now this is a bit of a trick base. I like to build these sometimes. So a trick base kind of tricks players into thinking. So for example, if you get raided, they think that this is your main room, but it's really not. Underneath these 2 beds right here, there is a hidden little passageway that goes into your real base. So up top, you can use that as a little crafting station if you want. Down here is your main area. So you got some vaults, all your fabricators. Along with that, you have your chem benches, smithies, and then you got a couple more vaults back in here. And then back in the corner is your electrical Jenny. There are 2 of them in this base. you can use 2. I decided to go with 2 because it kind of makes it a little bit more overpowered. But yeah, also up here you have a indie forge, got some vaults, and then you have a second indie forge that I barely could fit in there, but it does fit. But you do have to build another layer. But yeah, so having it being as a trick base, it's gonna hopefully trick a couple people into thinking that that was your entire base, which is just up top. So then all of your loot is still down here and still, you know, in some good hands. But yeah, coming down here, there is another layer. Now this layer is your hatchery layer. You have a cryo fridge, you got your air conditioners, you know, your cooker, your grill, some feeding troughs, some refrigerators, everything that you're gonna need for a nice little hatchery. Then you have a nice little area over there to raise 1 or 2 dinos. You know, it's nothing too crazy. Now down here is just more of like a dino storage slash whatever you want to do with layer. Now there's nothing too crazy down here. There's not a ton of room to work with. But if you're looking to raise a couple more dinos, you do have room down here to also do that. Then down here, you can use this as a little log out area. I mean, it's the deepest part of the rat hole. I just put a couple vaults in it. And then yeah, that's it for this spot. So overall, not bad at all. Now coming for our 6-man spot, this can be found at 37.4 latitude and 30.8 longitude. And then here it is on the map. Now this can be found on the floating island. And as well as this last spot, this one also does not have any cave damage, which is pretty good. But yeah, coming inside of this entrance, it is a decently bigger entrance, but still overall pretty small. Now, raiding that entrance is going to be very, very tricky because there's no platforms, there's nothing. Coming up here is your main area. I'm going to probably put the main base right up in here. Not sure how it's going to work and if we can fit any indie forges or anything, but I'm going to try and see. But yeah, overall, you have a ton of room to work with, and everything about this rat hole is very difficult to raid. It just goes straight up into it. So as long as I can set some stuff up right, this rat hole is going to be very, very difficult to raid. But yeah, you have a good amount of room to work with. It goes down and then has another area up there. But let's get on to this full base design. Now here is the full base design. So as you can see with this entrance, I just spammed a ton of turrets because apparently this is the new meta. This is what a lot of people love to do. So until then, I'm going to do a ton of spam for most of the future base designs. So anyways, as you can see, this entire thing is spam. There's no turret tower, there's no turret wall. It's all spam for this one. So I mean, overall, it's nothing too crazy for anything that you really have to do in here other than just spam turrets everywhere. But the spam turrets are actually pretty overpowered. So, I mean, there's no main structure for somebody to try to get into. So just having spam means that they have to individually come and take down each and every turret, which is always a just absolute pain. Now coming up here is your main base. Now I tried to make this OCD friendly, but you do have every single thing up here, a nice good platform with overall a ton of room. So you have your cryos over here in the corner along with a bed, got your grill, indie cooker, a refrigerator, vault, and then you have a transmitter right there. Now for your crafting station, you have a indie grinder, you have 4 indie forges, you got 3 smithies, and then you got your chem benches and all of your fabricators. You have a giant vault wall over here. It's nothing too big, but it is a pretty good size, and you can do a double layer of that if you really want to. Then over here you have your replicator. It's the only place that this fits, so yes, it is a little bit tight, but it does fit there, along with your daddy storages. You also have a tech Jenny back there in the corner, and you have your main hatchery over here in the corner as well, which is right over here. You have all of your refrigerators, and then you have a second layer up top to mainly just store all of your dinos. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. You know, nothing too crazy, but overall works pretty well for a good base spot. But anyways, that's it for today's video, and thanks for watching.